Greetings, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to AddisDialogue. And my guest today is Colonel David Ben-Uziel, otherwise known as Tarzan, who is an Israeli who knows Ethiopia very well. In fact, he's contributed his own share as a military instructor to the armed forces of Emperor Haile Selassie. He's also traveled to different parts of Ethiopia, so he's my guest today, and we're going to talk about a host of issues, and he's going to give us this sense of where Ethiopia is now as compared to where it was previously, current issues, challenges, the way forward with the program. I'm Shifarao Lagam. Stay with us. Colonel, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
So, if I'm reading it correctly, sir, your involvement when it comes to Ethiopia began in the 1960s, late 1960s to be exact, when you served as a military instructor to the armed forces of Emperor Haile Selassie. And at that time, Israel and Ethiopia were close allies and were, I think, involved in a variety of joint clandestine military and intelligence projects. So let's start with this. Can you give me, a sense of the overall responsibilities entrusted upon you, sir?
I came to Ethiopia in 1965, and I was sent to train the special unit in the Sostania Shalaka in Harar. And that special unit had to take actions only after the Somalis, or if the Somalis are laying mines or kidnap anyone. Not to initiate, just to respond. So I had a small unit of about 30 people, most of them officers. And the training lasted for 2 years. We trained the people, for the mission. It was tough, I would put it this way. And let me tease you a little bit. You know that Ethiopia won over the Italians in 1896. Since then, the Ethiopian soldiers feel that they can conquer everything, anything. So I felt the mood. This is the point. I mean, people were very proud. This is important to understand. They're very proud, and we were able to do anything, everything. Now, when you have to deal with people with this attitude, it's a bit tough. Don't teach us because we know, but I don't believe that they knew everything that I could teach them. So you have to be very sensitive. You have to be sensitive to any culture that you come to. It's not only Ethiopia. And you have to understand the mentality. And this is what I tell people, because I served in South Africa at the apartheid time. I served in Ethiopia. I served in South Sudan. And I know what I'm talking about. I always came with an attitude that I respect and full equality. And when you come to train people and they have an attitude, we know everything, how do you do it? You don't push. You don't say, listen, my rank is ABC and you have to, no. You have to find a way. And I think that I found a way. In these 2 years, I did not only concentrate on the training. I wanted to understand the culture. It is so important. In Ethiopia, this is not compliments just to be nice. It is so unique. The culture is so unique. Well, I came 11 times, trips to see Ethiopia 11 times.
Wow.
Yes, the 11th time was, 2 months ago. And I went all over, and
Okay.
crossed anything that you want, just to understand this unique culture.
Okay. As someone who knows Ethiopia very well over a long period of time, under different administrators or governors, what does Ethiopia mean to you personally? And what's the relationship between Ethiopia and Israel like as we speak now in your evaluation?
First of all, the relationship between Israel and Ethiopia, it it is unique because of the story of King Solomon and Queen of Sheba. Now, I went deep down to understand this story.
Um,
Oh, yes. Um, I'll put it this way. First of all, Ethiopia, um, the Ethiopians wanted to have support of God, put it
uh,
this way, of them. Christianity of 1,600 years, it is something. To come close to the Jews at the time, it was some kind of, if the Jews, if God Almighty is supporting the Jews, the Israelis, we would like to have some of it. And to belong to the Solomon dynasties. So the emperors were from Solomon dynasty. I'm not talking about the Zagwe and so on, which I understand. And in fact, the Ethiopians up until now, they keep some Jewish traditions, Saturday and not eating certain things and circumcision and everything. So the feeling in Israel and Ethiopia that there is something in common. Not everybody knows exactly the details, but we are closer to Ethiopia closer to us than many other nations. So when I come to Ethiopia, when I come, I mean, I've been asked by my guide, how many times will you come more? I said, I don't know how many, but I will come because every time that I come and I see the churches, the carved churches, and I see the beauty, the countryside, the different climates, the lakes and the mountains, and I mean, in one country you see everything that
yeah.
you can see in other countries in Africa.
I know that you know a lot about Ethiopia. You've traveled to different parts of Ethiopia, including the rock-hewn churches, the Lalibela rock-hewn churches, and other areas. So I want to ask you this question as well, sir. What is Ethiopia's potential like when it comes to tourism and hospitality industry in your evaluation?
Magnificent. I'm telling you. You can see so much and so many different things. And as I told people many times, when you come to Ethiopia, it's genuine. What you see, the village life that you see, it is not a show for tourists. This is as it is. And the companies, the tour companies, they understood fast enough what is the potential. I did not hear one negative comment from people who went to Ethiopia. They come, they say, wow, we didn't know. We did not know the culture. We didn't know the scenery. Excellent potential. Excellent.
What are your observations like when it comes to the change that this East African nation made, you know, and as compared to the previous times, because you know the changes from beginning, starting from Emperor Haile Selassie to the present, because you told me that you've recently been here. So how do you evaluate the change? What change have you seen, sir?
I'll give you an answer. If at that time, 1965, 66, in
Yeah.
Addis Ababa, if you wanted to have not bunna, you wanted to have coffee, You
Oh,
had to go to one Italian coffee in Addis Ababa.
just one?
One. You didn't know,
Okay.
so now you have a good news. Only one. If we wanted to, when I came from Dirdao to Addis Ababa, you wanted to have coffee, you go to one Italian, one. Bear in mind. And when you see Addis Ababa of today, what a change. You
Yeah.
see the buildings, you see the everything. The city, it took us 1.5 hours to get out of Addis Ababa getting north. So huge, so full of cars, so full of movement. So one Italian coffee in 1966 compared to today, you got all the answer that you wanted to ask me.
So the difference is obviously visible, so visible,
Yeah.
because now coffee is everywhere.
Of course.
Thank you for that wonderful analogy that you've just given us. Let's come to Ethiopia's historical enemies. I'm sure you're familiar with this. So I'm going to ask you this question as well. Ethiopian historical enemies are trying to disrupt the peace and development of this East African nation. Did they try to do the same thing during the Emperor Haile Selassie time? Did you happen to notice such kinds of patterns that have kept, coming over and over again? What's your take on that?
You know it better than me, but I'll tell you. First of all, everything between states is interest, not the color of the eyes. Forget it. When leaders are smiling when they meet, fine. What are my interests? And Ethiopia is rightfully to put the dam. The water is yours of the Blue Nile. Are you not allowed to use the water? Understand the sensitivity, because this water supports two nations, Sudan and Egypt. So once you started with this dam, all the smiles are forgotten. Simple like that. You are going to choke us, you Ethiopians, as if you don't have any calculations of economy, electricity, anything. No, don't do. You have to do at the same time. You know what is the situation. I remember that what was it? Mubarak threatens Ethiopia. I will open a war. And the answer that he got from the prime minister at the time was, okay, so we shall fight. So this is one thing. Expect that this is all over the world. Always there will be forces to fight any state. Always. And you are not out of it. Ethiopia sticks to the decisions it decided. We should put up the dam. It serves Ethiopia. We are not going to block water from Sudan and Egypt. But because of that dam, suddenly the tension with Ethiopia and Sudan arose so much, which was not before. And I tell you something. Ethiopia at the time of Haile Selassie, I think that he was a bit too old to initiate new things. Even when he opened banks in Addis Ababa, there were people, what you call the local kings, who would prevent him from no. I mean, let us leave us to control the people that we control. You develop too much, we lose control. This is a human nature. You start putting asphalt roads, I can move freely between places. I'm not in control of the place that I'm the local king, put it this way, or the governor. Human beings behave differently to changes. I want to be in control. I want to be king. I want to be president.
So are you telling me that the pattern is still visible? The pattern was there during the Emperor Haile Selassie regime, during the Derg, and we're still seeing this interference, especially by.
No, 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 no. What I want to say is this. I came to Ethiopia in Mengistu's time. I don't know what is your age. I don't know if you lived at the time. This was not Ethiopia that I saw in Haile Selassie's time. You cannot imagine. People did not smile. People were like stones. This was not the lively Addis Ababa. You could sense the tension. When I walked to see wherever I walked, there was a security guy, you can laugh, holding in one hand a notebook and a pen in the other hand. And he walks nearby me to write what I'm saying. Did you feel that? No. So we leave Mengistu. I mean, when you take someone who hates his country, put it this way, I met him when he was Lieutenant Mengistu. So when a person like that who doesn't know how to manage a country, not economy, nothing, the only thing that you know is what you kill. Very simple. Anyone says something up, you kill him. Idi Amin style. So we are not talking about Mengistu, nothing to learn, only negative. Haile Selassie started to improve, I mean, to take Ethiopia into the 20th century. Big difference.
How should Ethiopia and Israel cooperate in the military area? As both nations are friends, ancient friends. So how should their cooperation continue in the future in the military area?
This is a question above my head because you have to see what is in common. I mean, there is in common between Israel and Ethiopia. There is no tension or nothing that you say, oh, no way to assist. I don't know if Ethiopia today needs any military assistance from Israel. No idea if they need. It seems to me that with all these years that passed, the Ethiopian army is a different army to what I knew. I'm sure so. Advanced in command, in attitude, I'm not talking about equipment. I'm not touching that because I put the emphasis on the people. You can have the best cannons, you can have the best airplanes. Without morale, without good training, it's a waste of money. So this is let me put it this way: 100% of my attitude will be on how do you treat human. This is the most important. Buy cannons, buy anything. No one will do anything unless.
Yeah, thank you. Let me ask you this question as final one, and we'll wrap up our discussion. As we've been discussing, Ethiopia is in the midst of diverse challenges coming from Western interference and others, of course, internally and externally. So what are some of the way out that you see that this East African nation, which you love the most, how should this country handle its issues, sir?
I'll tell you something. You touched something that make me, jump. I know what's going on now in Ethiopia. And people ask me, oh, look what the Ethiopian government, I said, listen carefully. You don't solve, you are a group, a team, a tribe, whatever you call it. Never mind names, I'm talking about principles. When you start a war, you have to ask yourself, what are your aims will I be able to achieve them? Killing people just by the sense of killing, what did you gain? Now, the attitude of the United States, the government, it's a strong body, so they have to behave nicely to anyone who attacks them. Why attack the government? Why disrupt the life in Ethiopia after so many years that Ethiopia is the place that investors are coming? Why suddenly you take the Ethiopian government and you judge them and and I saw it and I laughed. In no time, the Chinese, I think, foreign minister landed in Addis Ababa. The West is against you, we come. You have to understand everything that you say as a statement. What will be the effect of your words? So now you lost the stand in Ethiopia, fine, there will be always anyone that will come and support. Another thing I want to say, when I was in Ethiopia, not this time, but before, my excellent guide, Freo Ayele, who is my guide from 2003, he said, David, I want to see what the people did when they retreated. Why destroy hospital? Why kill animals, cows and others? Why? They belong to the prime minister. Is it his private property? It belongs to a peasant. Why did you destroy? Who destroys hospitals? You must have principles. You hate, you like, you dislike. I'm not talking about it. There must be certain principles the way you behave. You do not destroy hospital if you call it enemy. It serves you and it will serve others. You don't kill cows, horses, anything that belongs to some peasants. And I didn't like it. Yeah. And I said the following to my friends. I said, once you misbehave, I'm not talking about government A, government B. I'm talking about vandalism. Once you behave in a wild way, don't expect that someone will smile to you. This is, I'm talking about straight lines. There must be principles. You hate, you like, you don't. Fight the army. You did not win. Okay, you have to retreat. Don't be wild.
Thank you so much for your wonderful ideas, Colonel.
Thank you. All the very best.
Yeah, you too. Well, the viewers, with that, we come to the end of today's program. Thank you as well for having been with us. Until I see you next time with another program. It's goodbye from Shfara.